Hi, this is Gentleman Stephen again with another video, and what I'm going to tell you though is you better be sitting down, because what I'm going to tell you about this NDE experience is it took me a little while to put my head around it. But let me I'm going to kind of talk about the patient a little bit, just very briefly, because I can't say much about it. But she was in surgery for about pretty long surgery for a number of hours, and during that time she had an NDE experience. This one was different. I mean, I wouldn't say different, but much more detailed, and it's much more detailed. So let me just kind of go through it. But the one thing I want to tell you though, what she really talked about mostly is, and I hope you're sitting down. And when I say this, as I said, it really took my it took a hard time to get my head around this one. But the way she explained it is that you may have had hundreds of lifetimes before this one. And I'm going to let that one sink in. And that's hard to imagine because I sure can't remember. I don't know if you guys can, but I can't remember. And so that's what it's really all about. But she gave some other details about this, and she talked about a library that you've never seen before. And the way she described the building is kind of a Greek library, great Greek pillars. It's just really grand the way she explained it or described it. But when you go inside this library, it's very expansive, very big, and it's kind of like a library, and there are shelves there. But this one is a little bit different because what it contains is all the different people that all the lifetimes that have been, and your file's in there. So basically, she described is that when you decide to go in the next life, you pull out your folder, and when you pull out, and I'm using that as a kind of a phrase, but you pull it out, and everything you've ever known about, everything that you've gone through, whatever it is, in this folder, and you review it. And who you review it with, some call it a counselor, some call it a guardian angel. There may be some others in there, and I'll talk about you have some friends that you've known for eons of time in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual world. But you sit down and you look at this folder, and between you and God and the other, like the guardian angel or whatever, you make a decision what your next life's going to be like, is the way she described it. And it's hard to imagine, but you have to. There's one thing I'm going to kind of inject really is about God. Everything and anything is possible with God. Why do I say that? Because of all this. The universe, the laws of physics. I mean, you look at biology, everything, and it just all is put together in a way that it's just hard to comprehend how it can be done. But that's God. And so, when we talk about these other lifetimes, it's a real possibility in the eyes of God. I mean, you have to look at anything and everything as possible with God. So these experiences that you have, or the 100 lifetimes you had, is feasible. Now, as I said before, I can't remember. I don't know if you can't, but I can't remember any of the other lifetimes. But here I'm going to kind of inject another thing too. I had a vision some time back, and I don't know how to explain it to you, but it was after I did a final prayer last rites for somebody, and about a minute, 2 minutes later, I had this kind of vision. And the vision is that there's a body of water, and the body of water, in other words, represents the womb that you're about to go into. And as soon as your spiritual self goes into this body of water, as soon as your head goes under, everything you've ever known, every person, all the previous lifetimes, or everything that your spiritual friends, everything is temporarily deleted, and so you can't remember. The other thing I'm going to tell you too, and I want to keep this video short, is she said that anybody chooses Earth, a lot of the spiritual world, spiritual friends will look at you like, what in why would you want to go to Earth? Because everybody knows how bad it really is, or how tough it really is. So in other words, that you chose Earth, you got some guts. You got a lot of courage coming into this, and you're going through all these different experiences. Everybody has they're going through their journey, whatever, and it can be just a vast array of stuff. But basically, when you choose Earth, it is not fun. And so a lot of people look at you like, and then when your life is over, she kind of explained it to me, said, when your life is over, they're all waiting for you. So how was it? Tell us about what was it like to be on Earth? And it's just kind of the way she explained it is like you just kind of have to kind of sit back and look at all. I mean, just kind of try to comprehend it. They said it really took it's It's still hard for me to put my head around it. But you know, when you look at God, everything and anything is possible. So it's all really feasible. And the other question you have to ask, though, is what do you do for eternity? What do you do? And so from what I understand, I'm going to keep this kind of short, but what I understand is a combination of both of having other lifetimes, which can number, as I said, in the hundreds, maybe even close to 1,000 lifetimes. I mean, I don't know, and we're all going to find out when our time comes up. But it's a combination of the lifetimes. Then also you have your kind of like you're in school. You have other souls that you're learning, and you're also pursuing things that are really interest to you. And so it's a combination of that, and then also things. She also mentioned one other thing too, which is really interesting: music. A very major part of the next life is music. It is sound, and you don't necessarily hear with your ears. Your body, it's kind of like it vibrates within your body, and that's how sound is heard in the next lifetime. That's just off on a little bit of tangent, but I'm looking at the time and I want to keep it short. But that's really it. And I'm going to get into a little bit further. There's a lot more to this whole thing, which she explained, and I think I'll do another video, and maybe in the next week or whatever. But I want to keep it short. But the whole thing about this, and what I want to keep is, you may have had hundreds of lifetimes before this one. And I said, I'm having a hard time putting my head around this one. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I say I want to keep it really short, and that's what I try to do, is keep it about 6 minutes, 7 minutes long. But I'm going to talk more further about it. There's a lot more detail that she explained, and the other one is about deja vu moments, but we'll talk about it in the next video. But anyway, I just want to thank you for your time, and also, as I always do, I hope your day is going well. And I will see you in the next video. But again, thanks for your time, and I appreciate it again. Thank you very much.